Hello, hello. Hope you guys are having a good couple of days. We're in the middle of the stream most of the day-a-thon. Um, and this is game 3. We're going to play some Mahjong Soul. It's a pretty good Mahjong game. And they split you up into like brackets based on skill level that you can get to. We're going to go ahead and get in one. This just came to Steam recently. This used to be just browser-based. It just got released on Steam in English. I think it was released on Steam in Japanese or Chinese a while ago, but I can't read either of those, so we waited until the English came out. Oh man, we got a guy with our exact avatar. That's pretty hilarious. Go ahead and give him one of these. This hand is okay, not great. We're not north, so this triplet is gonna be rough. I'll also give that guy one of these. We got 1, 2, 3 shapes. Looks like 4 with this. That's not a lot of shapes. We need 5 shapes in order to win a hand, so... Oh, we should have kept that white dragon a little bit longer. That's okay. That's the luck of the draw. Yeah, so we'll probably... Okay, if we don't start getting some better shapes here... If somebody plays the other 9 before we get another matching shape, then we're going to go ahead and try to do a half flush hand here. We'll just toss these 3. Looks like we're doing half flush either way, so we'll toss the 3 tiles that aren't numbers. These character tiles are numbers, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So if we toss the dots, toss the bamboo, keep these honor tiles here, and then match these up, match these character tiles up, we'll be good to go. We'll get a half flush. It's going to be really adamant about giving us tiles that we needed like 3, 4 discards ago, and that's just how Mahjong goes. I think we just want to start pawning and cheating to make sure that we get numbered tiles. Now anybody that's anybody knows we're at least going for a half flush, maybe a full flush. This is a pretty good shape, this 2, 4, 6 shape here. We could upgrade this shape with a 2, with a 4, with a 6, or with a 3 or a 5, which would complete the shape. Now that's a rough throw. He just discarded a 4. Means he's probably got something near that 4 that he's waiting on. But he's not waiting on that white dragon, so we can toss that. That's a safe tile. Okay, East Wind is not live, so we can throw that. Live tile means someone could be waiting on it. With honor tiles, like this North Wind, or this West Wind, or that East Wind, you need at least 3 of them live, or it's an irregular wait. So like there's 2 West Winds in that guy's discard pile, so we can't make a triplet with this West Wind. However, we can wait on it. Oh. Looks like Right Lord just destroyed Left Lord. But that means we didn't lose. Oh, we hit him with a Mongon. That's a decent amount of points. The first hand, that guy's probably Already feeling the heat. Okay, we're south wind, so we can get rid of that north wind, and this hand is not great. We'll go ahead and toss the east wind since everyone can use it. We don't want to give somebody who has a pair of them a triplet later. The west wind's gotta go. We're looking for south winds if we're gonna go for winds. Looks like 2 south winds are already down, so that's already dead. Okay, let's counter shapes here. 1, 2, 3. We have 3 shapes. That's not very good. Toss this green dragon out. Now this 7-7-8 shape that we just didn't discard that 7 for is an upgraded version of that 7-8 shape that we have, because now we can accept another 7 in addition to a 6 and a 9. Now we got a 3 here, which means this 3-4 is now a new shape. So 1, 2, 3, 4 shapes. We need something to match up with this 5, this 8, or this 7. We'll have the 5 shapes we need for a hand. Okay, we got that 9. That's the 8-9 shape and the 1-2 shape are the worst shapes you can get. They're pretty weak because the only tile you can draw to complete that shape would be a 7, or like in a 1-2's case, a 3. Whereas this 3-4 shape here is probably one of the strongest shapes. Because we could wait on a 2 or a 5, which is 2 different tiles. And then this 7-7-8 shape is pretty good as well, because it's got 2 side weights. We can wait on a 9 or a 6. We can't accept that. If we open our hand up by cheating or pawning, then we need to have either to keep it simple, we need to have all numbers in between 2 and 8, or all numbers 1 through 3, 7 through 9. And since we have a combination of those 2 things, we can't open our hand up. We have to wait to draw the tiles that we need ourselves. Gonna keep waiting. That increases our odds. That's good. Now the only way to make this 8-9 shape like better is if we drew another 8, or if we drew a 6 and then a 7. Don't want that. If we draw a 6, then we can toss the 9, and then we're waiting on a 7. Either way. But if we draw another 6 or a 5, then we can throw the 8, and then we're waiting on a double-sided wait, which is better. Had I kept that 2 earlier, we would have gotten 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we could have tossed this 2, this 2-4 shape here. We're gonna go ahead and throw that 9, or 1 away from Tenpai here. Tenpai means Uno, essentially. You need 1 more tile to win the hand. These got good players, pawn and chi to get into Tenpai. So yeah, that guy was gonna win, or this guy was gonna win, as long as he drew 1 more tile, basically. Now it can happen without it, but looks like we are in 3rd for the time being. That guy lost big and then won big. Now that guy got a sumo, which means he takes points from all of us, because he drew the tile himself that he needed to complete his hand. We're still south because he was dealer, so the dealer seat didn't change, so these north winds are not looking too great for us. We'll keep them for now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shapes. Hey Bad Girl Peach, I hope you're having a good day. Appreciate the follow. We're in the middle of some sweet tenpai action here. With just the worst hand you could feasibly get. Got a couple of closed weights here. And 4 shapes. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we got 5 shapes. We're alright. They need to start matching up a little bit better, though. A white dragon, we can throw that. We could have kept it as a safe tile, but we don't really need safe tiles right now. We need to get this hand in a better shape. Now these north winds will probably end up being our pair, unless we can get some of these dot shapes together. Or if we draw something around the 5 or the 8 that isn't the 5 or the 8, we can go ahead and afford to get rid of the north winds, and we'll just use the Doras as our pair. Now the Doras are these shiny tiles right here. The Dora indicator top left of the screen here is a 3 of characters, which means the next tile, which would be a 4 of characters, is a Dora. That means it's worth more in the score screen. The score screen is how people, the last 2 hands were getting like 1100 point hands. They were, they just had excellent hands. A Mahjong is 8,000 points. If you're the dealer, it's around 11,000, maybe 12. A Hanuman is better than that. Okay, so we'll probably end up using this, these 2 north winds as our pair. Unless this guy sumos. Now we didn't deal into him. There's a fake Mahjong, that's 79,000 points, that's pretty good. Now when you draw your own tile and somebody else's dealer, they pay more than the other 2 people do. This hand is not bad. We got seat wind, prevalent wind, because we're east and we're sitting in the east seat and we're on the east round, and then white dragon here. We'll go ahead and toss this 1 since it doesn't really jive with this 4. And the 1, 2, 3 shape that we said earlier is weaker than like a 4, 3, or any other shape. Like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shapes now. That's too many shapes. We're gonna have to get rid of a shape. Probably not going to get rid of these 2. We're probably gonna pawn them up as soon as we can. Make triplets out of them. There's a triplet. We'll probably get rid of this 6 and this 8 because it's a closed weight for a 7, and 7s and 4s tend to just not come out as much as you know, as other tiles. So we'll throw that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shapes still, and we got a 6th shape here, so we still got to get rid of something. Go ahead and pawn that up. Now these are 2 side weights, and this is just a weight for a 2, so we'll go ahead and get rid of the weight for the 2. A side weight, again, is you're waiting on 2 different tiles, both on the side, so we're waiting on a 2 and a 5 here, so that's a side weight. Just throw all the tiles that don't jive. Now if we wanted to be really greedy, if we draw another dot that doesn't match this 3-4 shape, we could have went for a half flush. That guy's on fire today, apparently. His hands are just coming together very quickly. Alright. East 4. Plenty of game left. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terminal and honor tiles. That's not enough to try to go for 13 orphans unless you're crazy. 13 orphans is... there's 2 different hands in this game that you can win without making like 4 sets of 3. One of them is 13 orphans, the other one is 7 pairs. 13 orphans being a tile or a honor and a terminal tile of each, and then 1 pair. It's a really hard, really hard hand to do, and if you do put it together and win with it, you probably win the game. It's like 24,000 points. And for reference, the hand that guy just won with was only like 1,500, I think. And we only start out with 25,000 each. So you pretty much win the game when you get, and that's what's called a Yakuman, which are the like highest point value hands in the game without like special circumstances. Special circumstances being like if you get 8 Dora, or you can get a counted Yakuman that you end up with more than 13 pawn on the score screen. When it shows you your hand after you win, that's a counted Yakuman, and that can go really high point value wise. Now we might just do an all simples hand here. It's cheap and dirty, but it's effective. Go ahead and get rid of that, because one's already played, and the odds that we draw another one are going to be really low. Now a Tanyo hand is 2 through 8s only. You can't use 1s, you can't use 9s, and you can't use honor tiles like green dragon, red dragon, and any of the winds. Those two are just back and forth today. Unfortunate for me and a Cross Lord. Yeah. I give him one of these. People don't really use emotes unless something really good or really bad is happening, so. Okay, let's check our shapes here. We got a 4-5 and 8-9. That's 2 shapes together. The thing we just drew is kind of redundant, but we'll keep it for now. Southwind, someone already threw one. We threw another one, so Southwind is dead. But we shouldn't have, because we immediately just drew another one, but that's how Mahjong goes. Okay, we just upgraded our 4-5 to a 4-5-5 shape. That's a stronger shape. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shapes right now. We can probably get rid of... Yeah, we can go ahead and get rid of this 8-9 shape, especially with drawing that 2. Which still puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shapes. That's too many shapes again. So the next thing we can get rid of, we can still go for a Tanyo hand, because we have everything in between 2 and 8 if we get rid of these 2 9s. Especially since we have a 6, 7, 8 here. So we don't need the 9s. And that was a really lucky draw. That was 3 of characters there, completing our 2, 3, 4 shape. So if we draw a 2 or a 4 or a 5 of, you know, various suits, or even something right next to those, we can upgrade one of those shapes when we get rid of this 9 here. And we are 1 away from Tenpai, which is a very good place to be. It's a really good hand. Alright, another 4, we don't need that. Somebody else won. Unfortunately for us, it was the guy not in dead last, which we are now in dead last. But it's still anybody's game over here. This guy's going to be a little bit harder to catch up to. We can hit him with a Hanuman. That's 12,000 points. That'll knock him down a peg, but besides that, It's gonna take like 2 Mongons for him to lose. Now luckily, that made it easier to get us into second, because it lowered his points and increased his points, but neither one of them ended up with more points than second was in beforehand. So that's a good win. And the round didn't progress because dealer won. So it's still South 1, even though we already played South 1. If dealer wins, like if this guy loses, dealer seed will get passed over. It'll be South 2, and then if dealer wins again, it'll be South 2 again. And you can go like that repeatedly. These little stick things up here in the top left corner. The one with the multiple dots on it is your repeat counter. That's extra points for however many times dealer has won in a row. If you win, you get all of those. They're called mini points, I think. You get all of those points on top of your normal win points if you win after those have stacked up. Now we're probably just going to go for another, and I know they're just lazy, terrible hands, but just going to go for another Tanyo here. That's a 2 through 8 hand, because we're relatively close to it. There's nothing wrong with that. This 3 here is a pretty useless, but now I noticed that this guy hasn't thrown. Now he threw a 7, and we so he can't be waiting with a 5-6. We're gonna go ahead and click that and hope. Yep, we're good to go. That was a safe tile. That's called Suji. It's Suji to 7. Now that can get you in a lot of trouble if he's waiting with closed weights. But in this case he wasn't. He was waiting with a monster hand. That's a Hanuman. And because it's a Hanuman, dealer pays out more. We end up in third again. And these two are just running the gauntlet this time. It appears me and a Crosslord are just along for the ride, so. And in cases like this, all you want to do is hold on. You want to lose a little bit less hard than the other guy. Third place is still losing, but it's not losing bad. You only lose a couple of points. If you get fourth place, you are you're hurting. Not what you want. Now this hand, we got all the shapes we need. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shapes. That guy called a pretty quick Reachy. I don't know if we chase. I think we're going to go ahead and throw this 5 and just, just chance it. Okay, we're good. And then we just play safe for the rest of the time. If we, like, walk backwards into a Reachy or a Tenpai, then we're good. Reachy is, like, calling Uno, but your hand is still closed. He didn't call Chi or Pawn at any point. And it's worth a lot more points, and is a Yaku by itself, a Yaku being a valid winning hand. He threw a... Oh, thank the Lord. We didn't lose. Oh, we got a 7 pairs. That's one of the hands that, like, you don't have to make 4 sets of 3. You make 7 sets of 2 instead. And there's only 2 hands in the game that do something like that. That aren't that 4 sets of 3 shape. So we don't need that. Those are non-value wins. See, I'm east seat and in south round, so west wind does not do much for me. This hand is okay. It's got a decent amount of shapes. Starting out, we got 1, 2, 3, 3 shapes. I've seen worse. We also got a Dora and a red tile. Looks like we got 4 shapes now. The red tiles are worth 1 Dora each. 1,000 points in the score screen. And if you can work them into your build, that's 1,000 extra points. It's really good. They give you another Han, which is how you determine how many points people get at the end of the game. If you get, I think, 5 Han, it's a Mangan, which is like 8,000 points. This hand right now, I can see 3 Han, just the glowy tiles here, essentially, or 3 Han. Gonna toss that. Hopefully, this guy's on a rampage right now, so hopefully the rest of his hand just does not come together. Now we don't want this 1-2 shape, but we definitely don't want this one over here just by itself either. His hand is just flying together. That is unfortunate for us. Now he did throw a 5, so worst case scenario we can throw this red 5. Although now we're not going to throw the red 5. This guy has only thrown a 1, indicating that no bamboo tiles are safe, but this 8 is safe, so we can toss that. And then we can toss this 6 as well. That's unfortunate. This guy's on a single tile weight now. So if he matches anything to this tile, and we don't know what that tile is, he wins because he has green dragon, so that's a valid hand for the rest of it. Now we're gonna scaredfully throw this red dragon, see what's going on here. It passed, we're good. We're gonna try to throw this 6 and hope that that's not what he needs. It wasn't. Okay, thank God. Now that was pretty scary because he threw a 7 the round before last when he went to that single tile weight, so he could have been waiting with the 6-7 and just decided to throw the 7 and wait for the 6. But luckily that wasn't the case, so we didn't just deal in. And even though our hand was super valuable, it just didn't come together fast enough because that guy was like lightning, that guy was like lightning. And me and a Crosslord are just holding on for dear life in the middle of this tornado. So let's check our shapes here. We got 1, 2, 3 shapes. And then we got a Dora tile. Looks like one of our shapes just came fully together. That was pretty good. We're going to get rid of this east wind. Keep that north wind because we're in the north seat. And then we'll hang on to this white dragon either as a safe tile or just as a better tile than this. Okay, well, I take it back. We're throwing it. It's going to be all good. We don't need that white dragon for anything, really. Especially with this 2-3 shape coming together. We got our north wind. Gonna go ahead and throw that 9 with nothing connected to it. This 5 and this 8 are both problematic. But let's count our shapes again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So we'll go ahead and start throwing that 5 and that 8. In a perfect world, I think we can draw that. Okay, we'll throw that, hit this. Now it says we have no valid hand, but as soon as somebody plays a north wind, we can pawn that up. Then throw one of these 1s of circles down. Then we're waiting on a 1 and a 4 of... and that's best case scenario. If we draw a 1 or a 4, we're going to be in the hurt zone, because then we'll be waiting on a north wind and a 1, and we'd have to ditch the 1. So we'd be in Furten, which is... oh, we don't want... God. Just threw a Dora tile, that was pretty crazy. Nobody accepted it, so we're all good there. But if you're waiting on something that's already in your graveyard, then you can only win by drawing the thing that you need. You can't call Ron on anyone. Okay, that was the best possible scenario there. We drew the north one we were looking for. Now we're waiting on a 1 or a 4. This guy just threw a 4 and then called Ricci, so these other 2 guys might think that the 4 is safe. Especially because there was no weight attached to it. So they might throw it and I might win. But I think regardless of what happens, this hand isn't enough to get into second. The best case scenario for us is, okay, not that, but at least we cemented ourselves into third. And we ended this game where those two people were just on a rampage from start to finish. Check the old score screen here. This is us. Only minus 11. That's not too bad, especially when if you get first in this bracket, you can get around 70 to 80 points. And then the guy in last just lost a lot, but that has happened to everyone here. Alright, looks like that was about half an hour, so we got time for one more. Go ahead and load it up. We are relatively close to expert. Been expert a few times. I usually just get blasted back down to adept. Every time you level up your rank and go to a higher room, in this case it would be gold room, the people up there are just have played more than the people you've been playing with, so a lot of your tricks that have been working for the last couple of games just will stop working. And hey, Pearl Thurnax, I appreciate the follow. Hope you're having a good day. Yeah, so you get up to gold room, and like for instance, Reachies are a lot harder to proc. You call Reachie, everyone plays around you. They place just safe tiles, so you don't end up dealing into the guy that just called Reachie. Because that's a lot of points, and instead of just Doras, you can also proc Aura Doras with Reachies, and that's not what you want to pay out. You want to pay out the least possible amount of hands per game. And that's why we didn't get in last in that last game, was because we didn't lose once. We didn't deal in one time, so we survived till the end, even though it was only in third. That's all you can ask for sometimes. Now let's check our shapes here. We got 1, 2, looks like 3, 4, 5 shapes. That's enough. Go ahead and throw this 3. 3's not necessary. Worst case scenario, it's 4 shapes, but because we just threw that 3 and got this 9, it looks like it's 5 shapes. We are going to have to find a pair at some point. And if we draw a 5, then we're certainly going to be looking for a pair later. All the 7s are gone, so we got to throw that 8, or we got to draw a copy of the 8. But what we don't want is those honor tiles. Even though they are safe, they're counterintuitive to getting our hand together is keeping safe tiles, because you just don't want them. Unless they're working for your hand, you just want to get rid of them. Get rid of them and then Suji game later, that way you can you know, not end up in last. You have to win, but I think it's more important to not lose. Okay, that's not going to help us. There's two bamboo 9s already in the discard there, and all the 7s are gone, so that's just not going to help. We're west wind, and only one west wind has been thrown, so we can actually keep that and toss this 8. Just stop thinking about it, get rid of it entirely. We're down to about 30 tiles left. I think it starts out around 63-ish, 64. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're keeping that 7. We keep the 7, now we have our pair of 9s. And then that shape is completed. We need a 2 or a 5 or a 5 or a 3. And we're in Reachy. Now we're just waiting on a 2 or a 5. No one has played either of them, so we're waiting on 8 tiles now, which is pretty good. 2 3s have been thrown, that's even better. And a couple of 1s have been thrown, so the odds that it come out aren't bad. They're not great. A 5 is not what you want to be waiting on. Almost nobody's going to throw a 5. It's useful in so many, like, 3 stacks. But Ricci costs 1,000 points, that's why we went down to 24,000 points right there. Now if you win, you get all your points back, no problem. If nobody wins, and like your hand is complete, it's in Tenpai essentially. Unless everyone is in Tenpai, you'll probably be getting your points back from that Ricci. So throwing Doras like no one's business, that's horrifying. Hit them with the emote to distract them. Maybe they'll lose all confidence and just play the card I need. Okay, that's good. I have a feeling that everyone is using the 2s and the 5s, so we're gonna probably exhaustive draw here. Okay, see now this guy didn't get his hand together, but the other two did have their hands together. Hey, Unsafe Unicycle. Hope you're having a good day. Okay, so because that guy didn't get his hand together, but we all three did, he had to give each of us 1,000 points, so I made my Ricci points back, and since those two didn't Ricci, they got 1,000 points back without having to pay the 1,000 first. We'll go ahead and check our shapes here. Oh yeah, and because even though we exhaustive drawed, since this guy got points, the Crosslord got points, we stayed in dealer, he stayed in the dealer seat, and it's still East 1, so the game did not progress. We're still West. We're going to go ahead and keep the West tile. We do have Red Dragon here. That's really good. If somebody plays a Red Dragon, we have a valid hand if we pawn it up. So we can just go ahead and pawn and Chi our faces off afterwards, just to make sure we can get our hand together. Now this one I just picked up is pretty worthless, because we still need a 3 for the 1, 2, 3 shape. But we needed to get rid of that 9 anyway because it didn't match anything. Now that 1 just became useful. We're going to go ahead and get rid of that West Wind, because now that I have a pair of 4s here, it can go 1, 2, 3, and then the pair of 4s makes a different shape. I don't know if I want to keep that Dora or not. I mean, I do want to keep the Dora, don't get me wrong, but we'll do that. We'll split it like that. Get rid of this 8, that's pointless. So the way I just split that, now if we can pawn into a 5 and keep the red 5, and then we're waiting on a 7 for the 6, 7, 8 with the Dora included. And then we still have 5 valid shapes. We have the 9s, the 5s, the 6, 7, 8. It looks like we have 6 shapes. Miscounting, that's alright. This guy just re-cheated, so he's waiting on 1 single tile. Luckily it's not that tile that we just drew. And normally these would be a safe tile because everyone throws. We're gonna pawn that. We're gonna chase for no reason. It's gonna be awesome. Probably get rid of this 1, 2 shape next. Just because he's already thrown a 1. And the 2 is right next to the 1, and if you have a 1, 2, you don't normally keep, unless he's waiting on all 2s. Whew. Okay, so all the 2s are gone. Oh my god, and then there's a 3, that's rough. Mahjong loves to do that, loves to give you the tile you need after you get rid of the tile you were waiting with. Those are 2 safe tiles. It looks like we're just folding here. We're too close to the exit. And that tile is not safe. If it was safe, we could throw it and we could continue. 5's not safe either. Oh man, do we chance it? We chance it. We throw it. Oh my god, it passed. Alright. We're pawning this. We're throwing that and hoping to God nobody needs it. Somebody's gonna need it. Nope. Okay. Now we're just waiting on either 5. There's only 3 tiles left in the game that we're waiting on right now, and we drew it ourselves. Oh my god. That is the most luck you're gonna find, and that hand was glorious. I tried to fold out of it, and it just gave me all the pieces I need. That's a Paimon. 1,600 points. I drew it myself, so they all pay out the equivalent of 1,600 points. The guy across from me was a dealer, so he paid 8,000. The 2 next to me paid 4,000. And we are solidly in first now. Now we'd have to really bungle this thing to end up in last. But we can't really relax, because when you relax while playing Mahjong, that's how they get you. I don't know who they are, but that is how they get you. Let's check our shapes here. We got 4-5, we got 7-8, that's 2. 2-2-3-3, 5 is either 2 or 1 shape, depending on how you look at it. Or 2 or 3 shapes. Should have kept that 6, but I wasn't paying attention because I was talking. That's alright. We got plenty of shapes here. We can definitely get rid of this 9. Nobody wants that 9. Get rid of this 8 as well afterwards. Throwing that 6 is bad, but that means everyone else will throw 6s because they think I don't need them. Which in all fairness, yeah, maybe I don't. We'll see. If we can get a 3, a 6, or a 9, we complete one of those 2 shapes, and then we'll just be waiting on a 3 or a 6, or a 6 or a 9 afterwards. Or, you know, maybe we'll end up drawing a couple more pairs, and we'll end up going for Toy Toy, which is all pawn, which is supposedly a meme hand. It's actually extremely hard to get, because you already have 2 copies. Like, I have 2 copies of this too. We can't use that 8. We already threw the 9. So I already have 2 copies of that too, which means there's only 2 more copies of it in the game, and people use these tiles to complete their shapes. So the odds that it comes out at all are really low, and the odds that no one uses it besides you are even lower. Okay, we somehow salvaged this hand by throwing that 6. We grabbed another 8, so we were able to turn that into our pair. We don't need this 2, the 2 is worthless. If we draw a 7, that's okay. If not, we'll be dipping out of this 8-9 shape here. Might just dip out of the 8-9 shape anyway. This west wind is okay. 2 are already thrown, so it's not a live triplet. The 2, this guy has made almost no indication that he's waiting with the 2, so we'll go ahead and throw it. That guy just conned for some reason. You can't benefit from it. We're just gonna fold. He can't benefit from conning unless he cons, and like there was an 8 there, so all 4 of those 9s turned into Dora. But the guy across the table from him, who's already in Ricci, can benefit from it twice, because since he's in Ricci, he can get Aura Dora. And there's more Oradora the more cons that have been called. Oradora are the same point value as Dora, they're just not shown on the table until the store screen. I guess we can start pawning and cheating some stuff, but on the off chance we can get into 10 pi, but there's no way we're winning before these 10 tiles are up. We just want to not deal in and we'll be just fine. We have absolutely no safe tiles, so now we're going to be doing a little bit of guessing. He threw a 9, so he can't be waiting with a 6, or he could be waiting with a 6, but at least we know he's not waiting with a 7-8. He also threw 8, so we know he's not waiting with a 6-7. So maybe this 5 is safe, but the 5 is safe because the guy across from the table threw one a couple of turns ago. And you can't just like not Ron somebody or you'll end up in Ferritin for the rest of the game. That's a safe tile. I love that. Okay, so I only pay out 1,000 to each person. Very clearly still in the lead, so it's all good. That's the best case scenario that could have happened there. That hand did not come together very fast. Let's check our shapes here. We got 1, 2, maybe 3 shapes. There's another 2. 1, maybe 2, 3 shapes. 4, maybe 5 shapes. That's 5, but I don't really like these 1, 2 shapes. They're not good. This 1, 1, 2, 4 shape is better because you can either pawn that, which we're not going to do because we're going to keep this hand closed, or you know, get a 3 to complete that and make that 2 different shapes. I think we're 2 away from... Okay, that's very good to draw that. I think we're going to keep this 5-5-5 shape just by itself. Because if we're waiting on closed weights and 1 tile weights, I think the 3 is a little bit better to keep than the 6 for just waiting. And that guy does not want numbers and is really screwing me over in the long run here. So we need a 3 of dots or a 3 or a 6 of... Okay, we'll go ahead and get rid of this 2. So now we need a 3 of dots, a 3 or a 6 of characters, or a 2 of dots. And we're in Tenpai. Alternatively, I guess we could also get a 1 of characters, but one of those have already been thrown. The odds that we get that are low. That guy just, he didn't call Ricci, but he had a fully valid hand, like hidden. You can do that if you have a valid hand. It's worth a lot less points, but you can win off of people a lot easier. I just got Ren randomly. I was just spamming the bamboo scroll button because I knew I wanted a male character, I just didn't know which. And I'm pretty happy with him. And he looks like me in real life a little bit, which was crazy. I didn't even know he existed actually until I got him. But yeah, pretty happy with it. I have a couple of characters now. I think I have 4 or 5 different characters. And I'm just sticking with him at least until I get his bond level to 5, and then I'm going to try to get his extra costume. Play around with that for a while because it looks neat. This hand is coming together quite well. Oh my god. Look at that. Woo. So if we get that 7, it's a terrible wait, by the way. Just waiting on 1 tile with only 3 left. Not a great wait, but if we get the 7, then we get a pure... Got it anyway. Alright. Look at all the points that this hand just gave us. Pure double sequence and the Oradora. Oh man. That's a dealer Mongon, which is worth 1.5 times the normal Mongon. So instead of 8,000 points, we got 12,000, just purely because we were sitting in dealer seat. That hand was very lucky. Now, if we end this game over 50,000 points, you see this this trends here, that's my match history, in this particular like 4-player lobby thing. I have a cool cat on my 3rd game there. That means you have successfully like finished the game with 50,000 points or more. I think it's 60,000 or 70,000 in 3-player. Which 3-player is okay. I played that for a while to get this winning streak title. No real complaints. They don't have number suits in it, so there's just 1s and 9s of the number suit. So it's a little bit easier to get Yakuman, but there is considerably less tiles to do so with. And you wouldn't be able to get a Heaven's Gate in that mode. Okay, now I think we're going to chi this just because our shapes lined up to where we can easily get a Tanyo hand, which is 2 through 8s. Count our shapes here. We got 1 already locked in. We got another one right here. That's 3, 4 shapes, and that makes for 5. That was a very lucky draw, and it looks like our pair is going to be Dora, which is really good. Best case scenario, somebody else throws the other Dora, because there's already one in the discard pile, and we can pawn that up. And then throw this 3 of bamboo here, and then use the 4s as our pair, and then we're just waiting on a 5 either way. That was a really good hand, really good weight. A 3-4-4 shape can accept a 2, a 4, or a 5. So instead of your normal side weight accepting 2 different tiles, you can accept 3. A very, very good weight if you can get something like that together. Highly advise reading at least through the first 3 chapters of Dana Chiba's Ricci Book 1. Alright, this is safe because he's already thrown it. It'll really help you, and I played about 1,000 games of Mahjong before I actually did read through that book. So it's not necessary to like be able to play, but it really helps you identify like what shapes are stronger than others. Like the 1-2 waiting on a 3 shape is way worse than a 4-5 waiting on a 3-6 shape. Just call it tile efficiency, and it's super good to get used to seeing. Go ahead and check our shapes here. I threw the Dora immediately because with this hand it doesn't look like we're going to need it. I hate this 1-2 shape as previously advertised. But let's see our shapes here. We got a pair of 3s, possibly 1 more shape here. That's another shape. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. So we don't actually need to turn this turn these dots into 2 shapes, as long as we get a 3 of bamboo here. If we get a 3 of bamboo, we can just go ahead and drop the 4 and the 7 of dots off into the graveyard. We're going to be pawning up this green dragon for sure. That is unfortunate. I'm gonna go ahead and play the safe tile that we probably don't need. Okay, and then somebody else won, so we don't have to worry about it anymore. Got Penfu and Ipatsu, that's pretty good. I've seen, you usually get one but not the other, and offhand I can't remember which one is which. One of them is you have all runs, so you don't have any triplets. And the other one I think is you're just waiting on a pair, I think. Or maybe the other one is determined by certain numbered values. Yeah, okay, that's Penfu. Yeah. Can't remember what Apatsu that is then. It's really hard not knowing any Japanese words and then playing this game, especially for the score screen. And then I came from Final Fantasy XIV, where they had named things differently. I'm not sure if it was on accident or on purpose, but like instead of let's see if I can remember. Instead of Dora and Akadora, or instead of Oradora, they called them Akadora. They're the same thing. There was no need to change the name of them, and I do not know why they did it. Maybe they went after the Chinese rules instead, and that's why they were named that way. Okay, we gotta look at our shapes here. We got a lot of 1, 2, 3 shapes, which usually is terrible unless you get all 3, and then you can go for a mixed triple chi, which is, you get 1, 2, 3 in each suit. And you can open your hand up for that, and that's a valid hand. It's also Senshoku, I think is what it's, Okay, Apatsu is Yurichi, and you get your tile 1 turn after Yurichi. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and chi this and do a terrible thing where we go for a fully outside hand that everyone will see coming from a mile away. Looks like Right Lord just left. I guess he was tired of losing. Which happens. I've never actually left a game because of that. I've left one because of internet disconnect. By the time I came back, I was already dead. Okay. I'm gonna throw that 8. It's really dealer's choice on what I'm waiting for now. I have to commit to one of these shapes. And then I have to throw another one. Or I can not do any of that because this guy sumos. Wonderful. And yeah, mixed triple chi is also called Sanchoku. And that's just get the same run in all 3 suits. So if you have a 4, 5, 6 and number suit to get a Sanchoku, you would also need a 4, 5, 6 in dots and a 4, 5, 6 in bamboo. And you can open your hand up for that, and it's a valid hand. You don't have to reach E to win that hand. Arguably, it's harder if you open your hand, but sometimes it's worth it to just chi those up. Alright, we need to get rid of this 9. The 6 is a little bit better than the 9 because it can accept like 4 different tiles instead of just 2 different tiles. Not including itself, of course. And then same for this other one. Now that will get you into hot water later. Towards the end of the game, people are going to be wanting 6s more than 9s usually. That's pretty good. Go ahead and check our shapes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can toss these 6s now. Don't want them. If we keep drawing numbered tiles, we can just go for a full flush, which is extremely hard to get and very readable from the discard piles here. If somebody's throwing every suit but 1 suit, they're probably going for a full flush or a half flush. Okay, we can throw that. We just strengthened our 1-2 shape into a 1-2-2 shape. It means we can accept a 3 or a 2 instead of just a 3. That's way better. Okay, and now we're just laughing in the face of the Mahjong gods. We threw a 6, we got a 7, we threw a 7, we got an 8. That would have been a valid shape there. That's live, I shouldn't have thrown that, that was real scary. The guy across from us is probably waiting with very little left. We only have 19 tiles left, so we're gonna have to make some moves to get into Tenpai. And that started out with pawning that. Okay, well we didn't have to worry about that either. See, he could have been waiting with two green dragons there instead of the Southwind and the white dragon that he was waiting with, so we could have very easily dealt into him. If you don't see two, like in this case, if there's not two red dragons in the graveyard already, somebody could be waiting with a pair of red dragons, just waiting on that last one. You gotta kind of mull that over in your head when you're deciding your discards. Don't want that one. Let's go ahead and see what we got going here. We got a 2-3, a 6-8, a 9-9. This is 4 tiles, 1 in between. That could be 2, that could be 1. We have all the shapes that we need, so we're going to go ahead and chi this. Just because it's the Dora. Pawn that, that was great. Now, if we're waiting on a 3 or a 7, they're pretty valid, both of them are. If I had to guess, we're going to go for the 7 this time. And it's really just a flip of a coin. If it's this early in the game and there's not a lot of tiles thrown in the graveyard, you just have to just go ahead and assume what people are going to throw. And if you're lucky, you guess right. And if you're wrong, you're going to be waiting a lot longer. Okay, yep, that's exactly what we wanted. Now we're waiting on a 1 or a 4 to complete our hand. Which is not a great hand, it's just Red Dragon, Dora. But it does move the game along, and that's what we want. We want to get out of here with this amount of points if we can. Throw a Dora. When people throw Doras, their hands are pretty complete. You can usually guess that with certainty. So, like if I saw either of them throw a Dora right now, I would say they're waiting on a 1 tile. The graveyard, yeah. Yeah, it's the discard pile, but it's the graveyard. It's all just how you look at it. Oh man. Okay. I think the bot's still alive. The mini stick might kill him if we're lucky. It did not. Alright, he's still alive. And by bot, I mean, when you leave the game, you just auto discard, and you can't win anymore. So, whatever tile you draw while you're gone is the tile you're gonna discard. This is a really decent hand. It's got a lot of good shapes already. And it's just getting better as time goes on. So, we didn't need that red dragon because of it. I don't even think we need this 7 or this 9 here, so we can probably just pawn or chi this. I'm gonna go ahead and pawn it, get rid of this 9. If we're lucky, we'll get all pawn. But we're gonna need a copy of 1 more of the things. Yep, there it is. Okay. Now we're just waiting on additional copies of the cards we already have. The tiles we already have. And this is a meme hand in quotes. Instead of waiting on like a bunch of different tiles, which I could have cheated that, I guess, but we're going for Toy Toy. It'll be funny. Okay, right here. See, because I already have 2 copies of both of these, we're not waiting on a tile that has 4 left in the deck already. So it's just a lot harder to win an all-pawn hand, because there's just less tiles to win with. So that said, it's not worth too much. I think it's worth 2 Han. So if you can work in some Dora or some like some honor tiles, like a red dragon or something, it's gonna be better. You're gonna be better off, like, on the score screen there. We already threw our red dragon, so there's no point keeping that. Just waiting. This guy threw a 2 and a 5 of dots, so he's probably not waiting with the tiles in between. So if he drew them, there's a chance he'd be just throwing them. Keep throwing Dora so people know I mean business. That's most of the 2's gone. He just hit Ricci, that's not good. He's waiting on one single tile as well. Now normally I wouldn't con here, but I like the prospect of drawing another tile, and it's a red 5. It's such a spicy tile. He threw a 3 already, and the other guy also threw a 3. I'm just gonna hope he doesn't need it and click it, and we were lucky this time. That guy threw a 5. We're gonna Suji game to those 2's and hope he didn't need it, and it paid off. Now if he's waiting on a closed wait, if he's got a 4-6, then Suji gaming doesn't work. So like, you can assume he's not waiting with a 3-4 because he dropped 2's, so you play a 5 and then you lose because he's got a 4-6, and you can't tell that from Suji gaming. Okay, and this is a nightmare, but the 5 is safe. Oh, man. Okay, so last tile gets you a little bit of extra points here. He got under the river if somebody else plays it. Under the sea if you draw it yourself. Just got a Baimon himself with 5 Dora. And the game's over because somebody went negative. You can end up at 0 points and still play the game. You just can't call Ricci anymore. Got ourselves 90 points for a net value of, I think, 79 points over the last 2 games. So we're a little bit closer to expert. Not too bad. Should get there in the next couple of days. I only play a couple of Mahjong games a day. That way I don't get psychic damaged out of my mind. But, alright. I think we'll go ahead and play one more, and then we're going to switch games. I'd usually just do an hour per game, but we're doing alright, so we might as well end on a horrifying low note instead of a good up note. We got a Baimon last game, so this game we shouldn't win any hands whatsoever, you know, if luck holds true. Now, this hand is okay, it just got a whole lot better. We can go ahead and throw this 1-2 shape. Then we count our shapes. We got a 2-3, a 5-5. There's 2 shapes here in this chunk. And then there's a shape here, so we got all the shapes we need. We're probably going to end up with a pair of 5s at the end. Okay. So we're probably going to wait with this red 5 and regular 5 for our pair at the end. This is all dependent on us pawning up that white dragon there. We're 2 away from Tenpai right now. Should probably get rid of that 4 sooner than later. And then this 8 is not doing anything for us. Okay. Got rid of the scary 4. The closer to the middle it is, the more useful the tile is towards the end of the game, so you're just going to want to throw those. Okay, gave somebody the Dora, so now they have 3 copies of the Dora right there. That's 3 3 Han immediately, so you do not want to deal into that guy. There's one of the 7s we were missing. A couple more of those come out, we're going to be real sad. We might have even kept the 4 and got rid of the 8, which would have put us into a wait with 2 5s of both suits. Okay, now the con button looks pretty nice, but I've already opened my hand, and we're already down on Dora. I don't know if we want to con here. It's East 1, we'll go ahead and con. It's not a smart con, but we conned. Looks like 1 is new Dora. Okay, well we just gave ourselves a Dora because we conned. That's pretty good. And then we immediately dealed in. Luckily it was just Green Dragon, Red 5, so that's not too bad. But you're going to want to not do that if you want to win games. Now fortunately he wasn't dealer, so we moved the game along. We're going to want to win as the dealer to stay dealer, and this hand is looking like it might be able to do it. Go ahead and count our shapes up here. We got 1, 2, 3 shapes in the dot suit, and then looks like we have an additional shape in the bamboo suit now. These 9s don't look like they're doing anything for us, and we just got a 2, so this 2-4 shape is now our last shape. Okay, that 2 is not really going to be very useful for us, but it's, I guess, more useful than that 9 is. There's a 5, we just upgraded our closed weight to a side weight, that's pretty good. And it's red, which rules. This hand is Value Town. We got 3 red 5s, 2 Dora. That's 5 Dora, just waiting for us. We'll go ahead and get rid of that. And we'll keep waiting with the closed weight of bamboo to see if we can't include that red 5 in our hand. That is better, but not great. Usually if someone throws a 6, then they might be waiting with a 5 or a 7, like a pair of both of those. So we're really getting into scary Terry. Okay. Now this is not the right move, but people are throwing a lot of the 9s, and so we're going to have a tough time waiting for those later. So we went ahead and grabbed the 7. We're still 2 away from Tenpai, so we're 3 away from winning. This hand is insane, is what this hand is. It's just going to keep giving me points. I'm fine with it, but... Okay, I think we throw this, even though we shouldn't. Thank God. That hand was too good, it was not going to let us win it. Defeated by a 2-Han hand, that's how it goes. The only thing I could have did different there was got rid of like the 4 out of that 4-5-5 shape, or got rid of the 3 out of that 3-3-5 shape, and just made those weights worse. But like gotten a little bit closer to Tenpai, but it wasn't going to come together apparently. This hand looks more like a Mahjong hand that you're going to normally encounter. You got a couple of shapes here. Looks like 1, maybe 2 if you're lucky. 3, 4, and that's it. 4 shapes. 5 shapes now, and a lot of them aren't good weights. Now we can open this hand up. It's just impossible. We did just complete one of the worst weights that we had, so that's pretty good. Oh, don't tempt me with the red 5. Okay. Just got our Dora locked in here. Now we got to get rid of this 5 of bamboo. It looks like we are 1 away from Tenpai. Yep. This hand is okay. Not bad. 3 Han, I think, if we call Richi. Richi, Penfu, Dora. And that's if we're waiting on a side weight at the end there, which it looks like we will be. We already have our pair over here. Right Lord appears to be either going Toy Toy or Tanyo. Either way, he's got a showing red 5, and that's not what we like to see. This is superfluous. We'd still be waiting on a 4. So not required. We can go ahead and toss that 5. We do need that 1, but we can't accept it. We can't open this hand up. Without like a 1, 2, 3 in each set, because we're using 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6 here, and not a we're using a combination instead of, like, you know, putting all on either an outside hand or Tanyo. You just can't open it up and have a valid hand. Now, if it was like 9 tiles left, I'd say go ahead and open it up, even though you're not gonna win. To get yourself into Tenpai, so you don't have to pay out at the end of the round. Which is what 25 tiles left. I don't think that's enough. This guy really hates me, apparently. Gonna make me think about each and every discard, I'm assuming. Now, there's 2 4s left, there's 2 1s left, and then there's 3 7s left. So we still got plenty of wiggle room to get ourselves into Tenpai, unless we deal in right here. Nope, alright. Okay, now we would have cheated that because we were getting pretty close to that 9 or 10 tiles left. Put ourselves into an unwinnable hand situation, but at least we wouldn't have had to pay out. But luckily, left lord dealt into right lord, so we're totally good. We're no longer in last. Happy day. Now if we can just stay there, that'll be alright. Okay, that 2's not really necessary, neither is that 6. We'll go ahead and count up our shapes here. We got 1, 2, maybe 3, depending on if we get that 9 or another 6. 5. Okay, well, we're gonna toss that 6 before we make any decisions. If we get another 8, we could very easily go for fully outside hand here. Even if we get that 9 as well. Just have to see what we start drawing. Fully outside hand is awesome. It's the hand I tend to want to go for the most. Everyone has a hand like that. Be it either Tanyo or... they give us a 9. Those... Okay, we'll get rid of that. Make 1 shape out of that. Everyone has a hand they normally lean towards. And if you play that person enough, you'll end up seeing it repeatedly. Not that we've gotten a fully outside hand this particular stream. But we're definitely going for it, just for the lulz. It's early enough in the game and we're not too far behind that we can go for the favored hand here, and that will also let us include this Dora. Which if we keep it closed, which is really hard to do, because fully outside hand is not very tile efficient. We already threw the 6, we can't be waiting with it later. Somebody's thinking extra hard about accepting that. These dot throws are killing me. They're not safe at all. The guy to our left looks like he's going for a half outside or half flush. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and cheat that. Now because these two have a terminal tile in them and this one doesn't, we're gonna go ahead and throw this one, this shape. Because at the end here we'll have to pick a shape to turn into our like pair weight, and to get a fully outside hand you want the pair weight to be a terminal tile. Okay, very good. Now we're waiting on an 8, or an 8, or a 9 or a 9 in either suit. Okay, that's pretty good. Don't need it though. Like if we get an 8 here, and we toss the 7, we're waiting on a 9. If we get an 8 here, then we toss this 7, and we're waiting on a 9. Okay, we got our 9. We toss the 7, we're waiting on an 8. Mixed triple sequence and fully outside hand is, it's good. Like if you're already waiting, that's a live tile, oh my god. If you're already waiting on like the least tile efficient tiles you can, you might as well at least wait for like a good amount of points with them. This is not a safe tile, and I'm pretty sure I immediately deal in if I throw it. So we're just gonna wait for a unvalid hand here, but we are in Tenpai. God, it hurts so much. He threw a 3, so Suji Gaming, maybe he doesn't need this. Yep, okay, we're safe. And somebody just sumoed, so we're even safer. Now if you Riichi and someone sumos, you lose that 1,000 points. It goes into a Riichi stick, which if you look top left of the screen here, that one red dot stick, or sorry, the mini stick here. No, I think it's one red dot stick, usually. I'm not sure what happened there. The mini stick got added because dealer's seat didn't change, but I'm not sure why the Riichi stick didn't get added there. And I played for thousands of hours, so need to read more of the Riichi books there. Oh, hey, Aleph, I hope you're having a good morning. Good day, whatever day time it is. I've been up for a while. Hey, that's what I like to hear. We're doing our most of the day-a-thon. It's like streaming for 12 hours, but taking little breaks in between. So I'm not a maniac. I'm an animaniac, so. Let's check our shapes here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shapes and some change. We could go for Toy Toy right here, which is all pawn because we have 4 sets of 2. If you draw your 5th set of 2, then you want to go for 7 pairs. Normally. It depends on what tiles you actually have. These tiles are mostly closer to the ends, like they're 2s and 1s and 3s and 8s. So it's a pretty good option for Toy Toy. Which is all pawn, again, in quotes, little parentheses there. And then you just wait on your pair at the end, or hopefully something else matches after you've started pawning. Because if you are waiting for like things to match up pawn-wise in the middle, 4s, 5s, 6s, even 7s, you're going to be waiting a lot longer. Whoever just gifted that, you're a champion, and I appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day. Oh, Rond. Got distracted. At least it wasn't all 4 wins. I'll deal into the half-flush prevalent wind here. Now, it's still anybody's game. A Mahjong puts me in second, especially if I hit the guy I just dealt into. Now we have triple dragon potential here, which is the memeiest hand I've ever seen. It's a pretty good weight. I think we have to throw the dragons. One's already came out. I'm chucking it. Now, if you get all 3 dragons, 3 triplets, 1 white, 1 green, 1 red, then that's 24,000 points. That's Yakuman. You are winning this game. But as far as I've seen it, it is extremely hard to get. As soon as you pawn up 2 of them. Hey Blacklist, I appreciate you following me. Hope you have a good day. And are having a good day. And are having a good couple of days. Yeah, if you pawn up one of those dragons, and then, God forbid, you pawn up the second dragon, no one is going to play the third dragon. It's just not going to happen. We can throw this and wait on a single tile wait, but we're going to want to throw this instead, or this, and wait on a more than a single tile wait. This being a double-sided wait rather than... It's a better wait than having 2 5s and 2 8s, because then you're only waiting on 4 tiles left in the game. But I threw that 5, so we're waiting with a 4 and a 7, so we're waiting on 8 tiles that are left in the game. Yeah, appreciate it, Blacklist. That's just, you know, just saying what I'm thinking. It's, I learned to play Mahjong, doing, like, by getting slapped with, slapped by old ladies for hundreds of games. So if I can prevent anyone from having to do that, that would be great. Okay, and we just round the guy that round us. Red 5, green dragon, I think is all we got, but we got some of our points back. And that's all you can ask for. Okay, we're back not in last, and that's all we really wanted. Got red dragon here again. We're really close to a half flush hand. If we draw another bamboo tile, we might be going for it. Unless that guy immediately plays a red dragon, and then it's coin flips. I played, we'll go ahead and go for the half flush just for lulz. So I played Japanese Mahjong in Final Fantasy XIV is where I learned how to play it. The UI is a little bit clunkier and the tiles are a little bit smaller, but it's still just as fun. I played 500, 600 games on there over the course of like 2 years. And then a friend of mine linked me to Mahjong Soul, and like, hey, you can both play Mahjong and don't have to pay a subscription. And I'm all about saving that money, so done. The character tiles, so they have their own character tiles and their own like tile variants, but you can change those to traditional tiles in Final Fantasy XIV. So you don't have to worry about. I started actually with the normal tiles. We're gonna go ahead and do that single tile wait. Started with the normal Final Fantasy XIV tiles and then switched to traditional probably about 300 games in, and then about 200 games after that I switched to not having the numbers on them anymore. He played a 2, so this should be okay, Suji Gaming. And had to learn Chinese 1 through 9 in order to keep playing. Which, I mean, made me learn Chinese 1 through 9. I took like 2 years of French, and I don't know any French, so if they had included it in a sweet tile-based game, I might still know it. But it's really fun. I don't know, I got no problems with Mahjong. Even losing Mahjong, I'm still like here for the game rather than the wins. Okay, shouldn't have thrown that south, but we're tossing it because it's going to be useful to other people. And we know what we're doing, so we don't need that much help if we can help it. Whereas other people, you know, could get the triplet of the south, and then their hand is completely valid no matter what they're doing. The east wind that we just threw as well is only useful for the dealer in this in the south rounds, so we kept that longer than we kept the south. Now, had we if we had 2 south winds in our hand, we would have went ahead and kept it. We're going to go ahead and count up our shapes here. We got 1 with an extra 6. That's pretty good. That could equal 2 shapes later if we draw the 6 or the 9. Got another set of 2 here. That could be our pair. We're going to ignore that. We got another 5. So this 1 is worthless. We're going to go ahead and throw that. We got all of our shapes pretty valid here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I've been to Gold Room a couple of times now. It's fiery up there. You gotta look out. It's, I'd say people stop calling Ricci, and you stop seeing that in Gold Room. You'll see a lot more, like, hidden hand wins. And that's been tough to, like, adjust to, but, I'm better than Adept, but, I'm probably just on the Expert Cup of being able to progress through Expert. Okay, this guy's in Ricci here, and he has no indication that he isn't waiting on the Dora, so we're going to go ahead and keep that for the rest of our lives. I'd rather throw the 4 in deal end than throw the Dora. Okay. Now this is just a Tanyo hand, unless we draw another Dora immediately. I'm pretty sure we're folding. I can't. You guys are gonna hate me, but I can't. Can't not do it. What? Click. Hot dang. Alright, we're waiting on 5 tiles now. That was an insanely lucky drop there. We could have very easily dealt in and given him even more, and we won because of it. Oh, man. Alright, we'll take our all symbols win. Yeah, the luck was really high. That guy to the guy to our right that called Ricci, there was no indication that he wasn't waiting on numbered tiles, so any numbered tile was just not safe to throw. And we did it anyway because we're champions and we like to live on the edge, but usually that's not what you'd want to do. Anonymous. Gifting to Blacklist. I truly appreciate you, and I'm sure he does too. You're a good fella. Alright, this 2 and 5 do not match, and neither does this 4 or 7. But the 4 is a Dora, and it matches the 2, so we're going to throw something else here. It looks like the 7. Okay, and we can keep this 6, so we're going to go ahead and throw the more dangerous tile here. We'll go ahead and throw the 5. A lot more people will be waiting on a 5 than a 2 later. Now that said, they could be waiting with 3-4, in which case we're dealing in either way, but you might as well get rid of them while you're paying attention, including now. And now this shape is really good, this 3-3-4, 5-6-7 shape. We're waiting on an 8, or a 5, or a 3, or a 2. And with these other 2 shapes right here, we're also waiting on a 2 or a 5. So we're waiting on 25 tiles or something to get us into Ricci, and it looks like we just immediately hit it. This is not a great weight. The 5 of dots, not a good weight, not a good look. If we're lucky, a Crosslord's not waiting on dots. It looks like he's thrown a couple already, but the 2 guys to my both sides are not doing great for our chances of them dealing in. This is going to be a long wait. But I think it was the right move to call the Ricci. You make people play different after you've called the Ricci. They're like, oh man, he called Ricci, I gotta play safer. Or you just distract them with the Ricci music. And they start making they start making wrong plays. Now, alternatively, this can happen where someone else Ricci's and there's nothing you can do about dealing in. So you just gotta hope that your luck score is better than theirs. Now that's an 8, so he's probably not waiting on the 5 of dots. So there's a chance that either he has them all already, or he can throw it if he draws it. Oh no. We just threw a Dora, and yet we lived. The gods are merciful today, it looks like. 10 tiles left. Somebody's definitely got those 5s and they're in use. 3, oh no. That's next to the Dora, and that's sometimes spicier than the actual Dora tile, because some people have a Dora and they're waiting on something near it. Dora do a lot of exploring, I'll give you that. Okay, now we didn't deal in, neither did anyone else. He did have one of the 5s we were waiting on. And we just have to assume that they also had the 5s and we're just refusing to throw them, or they're in the dead wall. The dead wall being these tiles up here that aren't flipped, top left. Those are other Dora. But since no one has conned yet, you can't see them. And they pull the tiles directly out of the game to put them up there. So that's 5 tiles that are just not actually in the game and are unuseful. But then under those Dora is another row of tiles, 5 tiles. Those are your Aura Dora, and those are only useful to people that call Ricci, and those are also pulled directly out of the game. Worst case scenario, you're waiting on like a 13 Orphans hand, and 3 White Dragons are already on in the discard pile. And somebody definitely has the other one, so you're all good. You slam the Ricci button, and then it gets to the very end of the game, and you exhaustive draw. And if you look back in the logs and stuff, you can see what tiles were in the dead wall, and if your white dragon is there, you had no chance of winning from the get-go. And it's a damn shame when you find stuff like that out afterwards. But it happens. And that's why it's better to wait on tiles that have multiple copies left. Look at this guy across from us. He almost had triple dragon weight. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and count up our shapes here. We have 5 pairs. If we draw another one of either of these 3, we're going 7 pairs reachy. We're going 7 pairs anyway. So right now we're not gonna pawn anything that shows up. We're not gonna chi anything that shows up. We're just gonna get rid of whichever one of these numbered tiles shows up first in the discard pile. That is the game plan. We're throwing that. You can get a Yakuman with all pawn if you keep your hands closed, but the odds of that happening are so minusculely low that it's a meme, essentially. Like, there's only 4 of each tile in the game. You have to draw 3 of those tiles 4 different times, and then a pair. Now the good thing about 7 pairs is you can also fold out of it really easy. Oh man. Okay, so that guy threw a 7, so he's probably not waiting with a 4. So I'm gonna throw the 4. Okay. Now we're waiting for just the 5, and we have a valid hand. 7 pairs I think is 2 Han by itself. Which, you know, again, we probably should have folded out of this, but 7 pairs is pretty tantalizing. It's hard to get. I've been in Tenpai for, I've been in Riichi, I guess, for 4 concealed triplets, and I had to ron it off of somebody, which opens your hand and gives you 3 concealed triplets and then like a bunch of additional points, but no Yakuman. You have to draw it yourself afterwards. Now truthfully, based on the amount of tiles that were left, I probably just shouldn't have Riichi'd, because 7 pairs is valid by itself without the Riichi. But that's alright, we got our points back. Because this dude to our left there wasn't in a valid hand state. And we keep the dealer seat. So there's nothing wrong with that. Now, usually when they give me 2 dragons, I just flip a coin, essentially, in my mind, and pick which one to throw. Alternatively, if you have even worse tiles, which they're not bad, they really aren't bad tiles, but if you have worse tiles, you probably throw those first, and then you throw the dragons afterwards, because there's a chance you could draw a second one, and then your hand is valid no matter what it is. 2, 3, 4, nope. We only have 4 shapes. We're going to need an additional shape before we start working on pawns and cheese here. And we probably want to start getting rid of terminal tiles. Now, I normally wouldn't have kept this this north wind, and I'm going to throw it in a couple of turns here. But it's the Dora, so if we can draw an additional one, we can use it as our pair later. That's good. It's worth a whole lot more points afterwards, you know. Okay, we got a 2 and a 4 back to back. That's not good. We're gonna go ahead and ignore that we could have used that as a sweet shape. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and toss that north wind. Now these are two closed weights as a shape, but that's not bad necessarily. Especially because we can't have a valid hand if we start opening it with these being our pair. We're gonna go ahead and throw that 9. We kept the 1 over the 9 because the 3 is close. And then we just drew 2, so that's a complete shape. Against my better judgment, I'm going to start throwing these closed weights and try to get this side weight here completed. One of both of these tiles have already been used, so that's going to be a rough weight either way. But if we can get that side weight completed, then it's a better weight to wait for both the 8 or the 9 instead of just the 8 or the 9. 8 and the 9, there we go, instead of the 8 or the 9. Because there's only one of each of those tiles left, and if we're waiting on both, then we're waiting on 2 tiles instead of just 1. It's not a great wait, but it's better than what, we would be waiting on. Best case scenario, I guess we start drawing some 7s. Which there's 1 in the graveyard. That's not good. That's not what we want. We're going to go ahead and start throwing these because there's no match for them anymore. If we're lucky here, we can get an 8 or a 9 of dots, and then we're waiting with a full straight, and we can open our hand up for a full straight. Okay, we got the 9. Now we're just waiting on an 8. 3 of which have been thrown. All of them are gone, actually, now that I'm looking at it. 8 is very dead. Yeah, I agree. But we can get ourselves into Tenpai, hopefully. Let's see if we can do that. If we're waiting on the 8, even though the 8 is dead, it's still technically a valid hand. It doesn't check for that. Okay, well, they sumoed anyway, so we were done. And did not come together very fast. Oh, he also got 7 pairs. Look at that, 7 pairs. He mixed in some Dora. The Dora was the north wind there. And I think he got an Aura Dora. I didn't read the last part, unfortunately. But, okay, now we're... Either way, it was a great hand. Knocked us right back into 4th. But we have these north winds here, so this hand should come together a lot faster because we'll be able to pawn and chi. And it looks like we can go for Sanshoku. We can go for 7, 8, 9 in each pair, or each suit. And we're in south, but we don't need south, so we're going to throw that. Better to throw it early if you think you're not going to get it. Even though he pawned it up, we didn't deal in later. Now, getting that 1 right there is really good, because then we can throw this 5 and this 3 and end up... I'm going to throw that 6. It's not a good idea to have thrown that 6, but I'm going to throw it and hope somebody throws a 9 at me before the end of my weights. Yep, there it is. That was really lucky. That way we can stay in half outside hand territory. Okay, and now we normally would throw this 7, 8 just to stay in half outside hand territory. But we're going to throw the 1, 3 here. You keep the 7, 8 only because the Dora is there. Normally you keep the 1, 3 because you have a terminal tile here, and that's useful for the pair at the end of the game. If you had a 1 here and a 3, and then you drew another 1, then you could pawn either these ones or that set of 1s, and be that much closer to a valid hand. We're in last, so we can con it up all day. See, that's what I was talking about here. That's something we could have thrown that 7-8 for, but that's all right. No one has played either of those ones, so they're gonna come out eventually. And then we'll just be waiting on the 9. Or a 6, but like hopefully someone plays the 9. I think we only lose out on like one extra Han if oh man. This is rough. If I throw this 6, we can't throw the 6. We just can't do it. If I threw the 6 and then was able to pawn one of these numbers up, I would have been in Furiton, and then I would have just been waiting on my own draws to win. So we're gonna miss out on outside hand here. But it is still possible that we deal in, and we did. For a Mondo hand, that's a dealer Mongon. And yeah, this will happen. Got about 6,000 points. I think the only way to come back now is to Mongon the guy to our left here and make him get in dead last while we're about 3,000 points ahead of him. I guess in order to do that, we could go for a full flush here. Maybe a half flush with the half flush won't do it. We're gonna have to do full flush. So I'm gonna need to start drawing some bamboo tiles here, which is not what I just drew. That's not what I want to see. And we're gonna have to do it pretty fast. Yeah, that was big ouch. That does happen. I was worried about dealing into a cross lord and dealt into right lord. A dang shame. But like I said, we wanted to end on a terrible note rather than a high note. Thus, Mahjong Soul is tagged psychological horror now. Very funny. If you go to Steam and look, that's one of the user tags. It's 10,000 psychic damage per swing. It's rough. I think we gotta go for half flush even though it won't get us there. We need a little bit higher point value to be able to win in South 4 and then take out left lord here. Now there is a Yakuman where you see all these bamboo tiles. Okay, that's not a bad weight. If we get south wind played, then we end up with 3 Han? 4 Han, maybe? Can't remember. I think half flush is 2 Han, so I think it would be 4 Han, so it's a fake Mongon. Which is, I think, 7,900 points. And then there's a mini stick up there. So we really need, oh man, look at that. A red 5 from the gods. Yeah, half flush open is 2 Han, okay. This is now a Mongon, 5 Han. And left lord played into us. Oh man, the luck score is real. That is exactly what we needed to happen, and it happened. That is a Mongon. We are no longer in last place. Ladies and gentlemen, we did it. Now we just gotta not deal in and hope that left lord doesn't just get a 3,900 point hand. Think that does it for him? Yeah. Which means we need to play good. Not aggressively, just good. We need to limit left lord's options, which unfortunately we just gave him the hand that he needs. We need to have him not win here, and we'd be alright. In all fairness, yeah, okay. The guy to our right probably would have thrown that south wind after us anyway. So there's not much we could have done to stop him from getting a seat wind, prevalent wind. We can get into a valid hand really fast if we were to chi either of those, but that's not what you want to do because you want to win. I'm gonna need to throw a lot of terminal tiles here to just get a Tanyo. Starting with that one. Winning right now would close this game out for us and would prevent us from being in dead last. Alternatively, we can hope that Right Lord decides he wants to end it very fast and just goes for a Tanyo, which is what he looks like he's doing. He's got a 2-3-4 there. He just wants to, you know, end the game before somebody can push him out of first place. There's been a lot of spicy hands this time, so that's probably what he's going for. We might be able to push him into winning, but by like playing stuff between 2 and 8. But we really don't want to accidentally deal into him. Now a Tanyo on our face would be fine. It wouldn't be enough for us to lose. Another 2, that's okay. Man, this is rough. We're gonna get rid of that. We wanted to keep the red 5, but a closed weight at the end is not what you want to be in. Okay, and Right Lord won, so we successfully closed out the game. Not in dead last. That's all you can ask for. Just lose a couple of points here for being under 25,000 score at the end, instead of the bomb that is coming in last place. Okay, and not too bad. Get a little bit of silver chest points there, a little bond, and we've done all of our event quests for the day. I think they roll over in a little bit here, actually. Yeah, probably about 2 hours. I appreciate you guys stopping by. We got a stream going every day for the past week or so. I'm going to try to keep that going for a while. And then if you want to stick around, I'm going to eat lunch, but in like a half an hour or so, I'll be back. We're streaming all day. Don't know what game we're playing next, but I'll go ahead and change the stream title soon. And I'll see you guys in about a half an hour if you decide to stick by. If not, I'll see you guys for some Mahjong tomorrow or something. And you guys have a good night.